for a variance for setbacks, or setbacks might not be a good thing. A height variance, for example, isn't the same as a variance for a fence, but it was complicated. And the other thing that I think would be good to do along this same line, I hope that the council will consider, is if they do change that fee schedule, making it retroactive to the date of the hurricane, because there are other people that are impacted by this. So, okay, that's it. Was my fence. All these months of talking about the mysterious fence. Anything else from anyone? Community development, Sarah, you have anything?
Yes. So we have had a request for a historic preservation board item. The Historic Preservation Board has not met for quite some time, since well before Ian. Would the LPA I believe that the LPA essentially was the HPB. How would you like this to be handled? Do you want this to still be part of the boards that you create?
Sarah, can the local planning agency simply act as the Historic Preservation Board?
It depends on what your code says as far as your duties and responsibilities. I don't know right offhand. It's
Jason, are you
something that I
jumping
would
up for this one?
Look into it. I would have to research it before I gave you an answer.
Because I know historically we have appointed a member of the LPA, and then
well, you have two layers in historic preservation. So the LPA is the Historic Preservation Board by the LDC. You also chosen to create a committee, Historic Preservation Advisory Board, to advise you on certain things. Now that was kind of where we left off before Ian, of what is their role? What are we looking for? Are there any historic homes left to be saved? There was a fantastic job done with the comp plan years ago and making a list, and where is that gone? That kind of catching up on that. That was going to be really their task. So I think what we're asking is kind of twofold. Is there a role that you want to assign and get that advisory committee together again? And then the second part to that is, your role as the board. We can bring things directly to you that come in. You generally started with the advisory board for most of these things, but it's not in the code that it has to do that. It can come straight to you as a historic preservation board. I think, and even more importantly, is maybe meeting and figuring out what you want your objectives, goals and objectives to be as a board, especially with so much loss that we've had.
I think we need to start there.
Jason, if I recall, we were having trouble getting a quorum with the advisory board, and we had talked about maybe reducing the number of seats.
Correct.
So I think maybe that's still an option, or if we can't fill those seats, just do away with it. Well, I would like to keep the advisory board there as an option, but not delay things. So if we don't have a quorum for the advisory board, bring it straight to us. We can make a decision.
Yeah, and I can foresee your advisory board, maybe, I don't want to step outside of my boundaries here, but being your advisor on what are we going to do moving forward with codes and policies and preservation of historic structures, right? Moving through, we've had this storm, what's left and what can we protect? But the applications of designation by code, really, it's up to the Historic Preservation Board. You've used the advisory board as a tool for that before, but until that time, as they're maybe up and running, we could just bring those straight to you. But again, remember, I don't think you've ever, maybe I don't want to say ever, anytime I've been here, you've never had an application for something that it's a recognition, not a designation.
Correct.
So you have these tiers that it's just basically a plaque recognizing the age and that it's something you want to celebrate, but it doesn't come with any good or bad. That comes with the preservation part of it and the designation part of it. I think we wish we would have done some more of those.
I think we wish we would have too, but
maybe that's
they'd be blown away
maybe that's a
nonetheless.
conversation to have moving forward.
So maybe for a future agenda, we could have this as a topic for the LPA and then decide where we go from there.
Yeah, we can add the Historic Preservation Board back on there. So you close as the LPA usually in the middle of it, open as the Historic Preservation Board, have your discussion about what you want to do moving forward or any items that come up, and then usually close that and go back to the LPA stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sarah, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Is there anything else from community development?
How much time do you want me to
Thank you for.
No, we don't.
Thank you all for the work you've done in preparation for this afternoon's meeting. Items for next month's agenda. Does anybody have anything they particularly have questions about or want to put forward? Sarah, do you have any input on what's coming up for next month?
So I believe that oh, the fire official has left. The fire special exception may be on your plate next month. They said special exception. Yes. So we're not clear on what exactly is coming forward yet, but something will be on your agenda next month for this.
Okay, so our meeting is scheduled for the 14th. Is that correct?
I believe so.
That's the second Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody look like they have any scheduling conflicts for that day? As we know, it's the week before Thanksgiving. Oh, can't believe that.
I know.
Okay.
I should just mention, I won't be here physically, but I can join remotely.
But you'll be here in spirit.
Yes,
Okay.
I will
And
join
on by
remotely. I
phone.
will be in
All right.
California. For a minute.
Perfect. Thank you, Dawn. Anything else? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion for adjournment, please.
So move, set it.
Is there any objection to a motion to adjourn? We stand adjourned at 9:44 a.m.
That's a record.
We'll reconvene for our joint meeting with the town council at 11 a.m. Thank you all.
Have a
Hey everyone, welcome to the Drive podcast. I'm your